All right, so in this tutorial, we're going to learn how to insert a transition or an animation to our presentation. So you've probably seen your presentation where the next slide is kind of animated, looks a bit. All right, so in doing this, we'd have to go to, first of all, let's start with transition, okay? So in using the transition functionality, I'm going to select our first slide because I want to make sure that each slide has a different form of transition. So I'm going to select our first slide like this, then I'll come to transitions. So once I click on it, we have different types of transitions here for us to see. So let me expand this for you to see the other forms of transitions. So let's select let's select this transition for the first one. Good. And then for the second slide, let's select a different type of transition. Let's use a push example. And for our third slide, we're going to click on it and we'll select a different form of transition. Let's say the box transition. Then the last one, I'm just going to use any of these guys. Let's use a glitter. All right, it looks nice. So that's just how you add transitions to your documents. You have to come to transitions, click on the specific slide you want, and then you select the form of transition you want. So I selected vortex for this slide here. So that's just how you add transitions to a slide. So now let's talk about animation. But before we start animating, let's see how it looks like when we put it on a slideshow. So on a slideshow, it's going to appear like this. When we move on to the next, it comes like this. Next, like that, and then the next, like this. All right. So that's how you put on transitions. Moving on to animations. For the animations, I'm going to use these two slides as okay. Wait, let's use these two. So for the animation, you have to open the slide you want to edit. So we're going to use the first slide. So open the first slide. They then come to animations like this. All right. Then you select um, what you want to animate. So I want to animate the whole of this sentence right here, and I want it to let's say there are different varieties of animations. So let's say, all right, I want it to bounce into our presentation like this. So that's a bounce animation. If I wanted the whole of this to be animated, I have to select it, come to animations, then I'll select another nice type of animation. So let's say this, and it's going to be turned in. So go to the next slide and change the animations for some of them. So the Lambo, we are going to change it to float in, or Tesla, we select fly in, or Bugatti, we select random bars. All right, like this. We'll move on to our picture. And for our picture, in changing the animation of our picture, we just click on the picture, and then in our animation, we can add some few more things to it. Let's say, all right, let's just put a bounce in for this one too as well. All right. So now let's see how it's going to look like when we run our slideshow. So I'm going to click on the slideshow right now. We added a transition, so this is the transition we are going to get. But we are not going to see anything on the screen because we kept um, every other thing in a form of transition. I mean, is it animation, right? So now, if I press the next slide, we're going to have our animation there. The next will bring us our next animation. And the next will take us to the next slide. We have our Lambo, which shifted in. We have our Tesla, which flew in. And then we have our random bars Bugatti. Taking us to the next slide, we made the picture to bounce in. So, and then we have our picture bounced in. So that's how it is in adding animations to your PowerPoint presentation. So See you in the next tutorial.